So my name is Staas and I'm delighted to be here. And I'll try to cut the checks, or whatever the expression is, and I would just like to first ask everybody to please close your eyes for a moment, for the sake of immersion, and then I'll play some. And you can open your eyes again. My question for you is, where are we? Any ideas?
Japan.
Japan? Anybody else saying, no, not Japan? Okay, so...
Right here.
Right here?
Right.
Really? Oh, that's surprising. I didn't know that. My impression is indeed that we would expect to be somewhere in Eastern Asia, somewhere perhaps Japan, perhaps China, or perhaps on the Korean Peninsula. Possibly on one of these locations marked on this map, where the ancient and the modern coexist in many ways. This is a parking lot of an ancient temple I visited. And part of this is Hyalessa maculaticollis, which is a cicada native also to the Korean Peninsula, called neemi by the natives. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct, but it's onomatopoeic, so it mimics the sound the insect makes. So, the paper presents an algorithm which simulates the calls made by Hyalessa maculaticollis, but for musical use. It's written in Super Collider, and it offers you a small set of parameters for real-time control. First of all, you can control the insect call phase. There's an initial phase, a middle phase, which is possibly repeated. You might have heard it already, you have heard it in fact, and there's a final phase. I'll play two complete call sequences in the human soprano range, simulated by the algorithm. Okay. Second is loudness, but we don't have time for that. And the final one is musical pitch, which is basically the raison d'etre for the whole paper, because it is imposed on the actual simulation of the anatomical mechanics. So they are adjusted to yield the target perceived musical pitch. Why would somebody do this? Well, for one thing, bioacoustics is super inspiring. The living, resonating bodies are the product of millions of years of evolution. That includes us, of course, but we're relative newcomers. There have been many species before us, still around, which incidentally also have formed the soundscape in which we have evolved, so can determine indeed things like immersion and the experience of that. But they have solved problems of oscillation and resonation long before we even appeared as a species on the scene. For example, Hyalessa maculaticollis. It turns discrete mechanical events at hundreds of hertz into a continuous sound wave at thousands of hertz. Why? How? Very interesting, I would say. Another example is the resonation which follows. Despite having a relatively small resonator, its belly, or being a small resonator, the sound is radiated into the environment with great loudness. Indeed, cicadas are the loudest known insects. So, some of the results of the paper are specific to bioacoustics and cicada audio synthesis. You can find the model, of course, in the paper, but also the entire source code. It's free to use, and you can adapt it. I hope that will happen at some point in the future, just like I reused previous research, because there is previous research about cicada synthesis. Wait, that's the end already. George, you really have 10 seconds left? Oh, wow. Okay, so I hope to add to these existing pieces of work. Why mobile tonal use? Well, because it's boring, we know what it is, we know what to expect musically, and the paper wanted to focus on the interplay between musical requirements and correct physical modeling. And then it helps that it's clear what these musical requirements are. Well, then I encountered a lot of trade-offs. So basically it's a case study in resolving trade-offs between correct physical modeling of bioacoustics and musical use. And there is one thing which seems generalizable, which I would like to end with. That's basically, if I really compress it a lot, suppose you have a cicada making its song at pitch E5, then it would be like this size. And if it would be a cicada making its song at pitch E4, an octave lower, it would increase. But this is the sound of a cicada with goes down, but it has its belly amputated. The E4 cicada has the belly of the E5 cicada. To me, this sounds more like a single voice than the correct way of physically modeling it, where the belly, the abdomen is also increased in size to yield correct pitch. To me, this sounds, well, at least like more like two different voices, which would break melodic use. And I think this is a generalizable problem. I apologize for going over time. I hope to see you at the live demo. Obrigado. Thank you very much.